take you on a chill ride on the 2022 Can-Am Ryker H600, and I'm going to talk about pros and cons of ownerships, as well as should I keep it or should I ditch it for a sport bike. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please drop some comments, like and subscribe. Alright, it has been a minute since I have been on my Can-Am Ryker, probably months actually. Time to get out on my first love and put her through her paces a little bit. Wow. A Ryker is actually louder than both of my motorcycles. I just not noticed that. And my Aprilia has a better exhaust note, but man, this Ryker has a lot of rattles. A lot of rattles. Way louder than the 650 as well, but different machine, completely different machine. But I enjoy riding it. Every time I get on it, it's a fun experience. But it's just really, really different from, obviously, from a motorcycle. This feels, I mean, there's just a debate. I'm not going to talk about how it feels. There's just a debate as to whether this should be classified as a motorcycle. A lot of people get real technical and talk about, well, it has 3 wheels. It can't be a motorcycle. Okay, I get it. Off the line, a Ryker is very, very good. Has very good acceleration. Even the 600, really, really easy to drive on long trips. You know, about one of the only issues, and I think Quasimoto had did several reviews where he talked about this, and where he worked tirelessly trying to solve this problem we're getting ready to describe. This vehicle has a ton of sway. It's just real, real darty from side to side. On the front end, it's just really, really twitchy. And it just doesn't feel real, real good driving this thing, you know, real, real fast down the interstate. You know, if you're trying to keep up with the flow of traffic doing 80 and 90, you know, I really don't like that twitchiness that you get from this 3-wheel, from this trike. But you get used to it. All of my, say, 300-mile plus trips that I've done have been on this. You know, most of my group rides have been on this. It was a lot easier to get used to driving versus a motorcycle, you know, so a much shorter learning curve, I guess I should say. And the groups that I'm in that have Rykers, you know, when they get out, they really like to get out and travel. So that's fine. The other 2 bikes are sport bikes, and you know, the guys like to get out and go rip on back roads. At least where I live, that's what we do. But I like to carve up back roads, and occasionally I like to take a really, really long trip, you know, just to break the routines. Because anybody that does open wheel riding, you know, 2-wheel or 3-wheel riding, will tell you that it is by far one of the best ways to decompress. If you have time to take a lot of long trips, or really do any group rides about these last 4 or 5 months, the Ryker has just been sitting up in the garage. Matter of fact, I got teased royally by one of my relatives who also has a Can-Am Ryker Rally. Sick, really, really sick bike. Did a lot of things to customize it, and we hadn't had a chance to really ride. And he was just really ribbing me about how all I ride is my Aprilia lately, which he's telling the truth. So today I thought I would, you know, do a little bit of maintenance on all three of the bikes, clean them up, pull them out of the garage. And I initially took the 650 out, but I didn't like this little noise that was coming from my sprocket area, so I'm trying to do a little bit more maintenance, break that bike down a little bit more, and do a little more thorough job cleaning and a little bit the chain and sprockets. So I'll get to that this week. So that opened up an opportunity for me to get out on my Ryker and rediscover what made me fall in love with this machine to begin with. Now I've had it right at about 2 years, just a few months from 24 months of ownership, and I want to say right at about 4,000 miles on it. And besides this little one issue with the twitchiness, I've really enjoyed this bike, our trike. And some of the things I love about this 2022 600 is the fact that it has cruise control. And the other thing is that for the community that owns Rykers, these are some of the coolest bikes, trikes to customize. You know, you really get a chance to show your personality with these bikes and your style with these machines versus motorcycles. Just a lot more surface area for graphics and stickers. There's some really cool wraps that are on the market. Yeah, and then it's just an abundance of accessories. You know, I've got underglow lights for it. I just left the controller at the house. I've got lights underneath the rear seat that integrate with my turn signals and brake lights, which gives me a ton of visibility from the rear, which makes the Ryker somewhat safe to drive at night. And so when I do go out with the fellas on the weekend and we want to ride in the summertime at night, you know, I'm 100% of the time taking the Ryker. So if you like social riding, if you like riding at night, if you like taking long trips, really getting away, the Ryker is a really cool machine. Now the Spider, obviously more robust, way more comfortable, and it was built from the ground up to be a touring machine. You know, so if you're looking for something specifically for touring, the Spider would be a better choice, but the Spider in the highest trim of the Spider is twice the cost of the Ryker. So that's another thing that I liked about this. I wanted that type of machine to be my first motorcycle type machine. You know, I wanted a 3-wheel instead of just jumping right into a 2-wheel motorcycle. And I didn't want to spend $30,000. That's a lot of money to spend on something that you're unsure about how much you're going to use. So I settled on the Ryker. And again, you can travel on this easily, but it doesn't have the range of a touring bike. So about every 100 miles, you need to stop and just top it off again. You know, sometimes you can get 120, 150, but the way that this fuel tank is designed, you get false readings about the fill level of your fuel tank. So I would suggest and recommend that, again, if you're doing 300 or 400 mile trips on this thing, you know, about every 100 miles or so, stop and check your fuel. I mean, a lot of people think that Rykers are slow. Now, it doesn't have the top end of any motorcycle that I've owned, whether the Ninja 400, which I think was topping out maybe at about 115, or my Ninja 650 tops out at about the 130 range, and the Aprilia tops out at about 140. It not having super high top end is of no consequence, really no value to me. As long as I can do good highway speeds, I'm cool. Now, my motorcycles are a lot funner in curves on twisty roads. You don't get to lean a Ryker because it kind of pushes and rolls through curves. But you still can move your body around to assist it with hugging the curves a little bit more, so it can be quite playful and fun on twisty back roads. So if you're a beginner, if you're new to like open wheel riding and you want something that's kind of easy to learn, something that has an easy learning curve, I'd highly recommend going with the trike. And I can see a place in a person's life for both, because it's a different riding experience. Now, if I would have bought my Aprilia RS660 before I bought any of my motorcycles and this, I don't know if I would have bought this, because when I bought it, I just thought that I'd have a lot more time to ride it, you know, specifically the way that it was designed to be ridden, you know, commuting on it or taking longer trips, longer day trips. But if I would have bought the Aprilia RS660 first, I don't know if I would have bought this or any of the other motorcycles that I own. That doesn't mean that the Ryker's bad, by no means. Doesn't mean that I regret purchasing it. But the fun factor on a sport bike and it's just a little bit higher, and sport bikes fit my lifestyle right now a little bit better. Now, when I get the kids out of college and I can stop working 2 jobs, Lord, I don't know if any of you people know what it's like to have multiple children in college at the same time, but I digress. But when I'm able to stop working like I do, I could definitely see myself enjoying this Ryker a lot more, especially in Mississippi and this relatively mild climate that we have. I could see myself commuting to work on this Ryker a whole lot more, and I would rather put miles on this $15,000 machine versus my $40,000 F-150. Wow. I said I was going to sell it. I had convinced myself that I was going to sell this. And every time I ride it, I change my mind. I keep it a little bit longer. Yep. You also find yourself obeying the law a whole lot more on a Ryker. This is more like driving a car. Because there are things I do at stop signs on my motorcycle that may not be completely legal. Yeah, but this kind of is what it is. I think it just comes with the territory. It's getting really dark really quick. I have mixed emotions about whether or not daylight savings time actually works. Yeah, I think I'd rather it be dark when I wake up versus it getting dark earlier in the evening.
Alright, YouTube, it's your boy Jay with Deep South Moto. Appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video. Don't forget, hit that like button and tell all your friends, please subscribe. Look forward to bringing y'all a new video in the future. Be blessed. Jay out.